What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm also going to talk about why Tesla is absolutely exploding right now as we're up 6% in the pre market. I'm going to talk about some very, very important levels, but just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, for Tesla, we're doing a great job at holding up so far, but now let's look at some very, very meticulous levels that are going to be very important for today. On the 5 minute time frame, check this out, guys. Okay, so Tesla is very, very volatile. We have a big range that has been developing ever since we had this nice little squeeze. And just know this, our main resistance is actually very close to about 347.5. So this is going to be our main resistance right over here. If we see Tesla break past this, we easily go up to 350, then into the 350s, we will squeeze. We have to break past 347.5 to get there. If we start dipping lower, okay, this is where our support is right here. The main support is basically around 340.86 and then 338.95. That's where we have previous resistance becoming support. If that fails us, Tesla will be dipping all the way down to about, excuse me, the 334 area. And then there's also this gap to fill way down here around the 320s, which I don't think we're going to dip that much, but we could see a little bit of a dip at least later on. So for now, it is looking like Tesla had very, very strong momentum. It's still very bullish, of course. It does look like it might dip a little bit right over here. Might try to retest this support around the 338 to 340 area, but then we'll see if we get a bounce or not to continue to squeeze. Because sometimes Tesla could just run like crazy, and there's a lot of momentum remaining. The reason it's running like this is because of the fact that the alliance between Musk and Trump has just it's been fueling these gains, and it's likely going to continue to do that. So far, Tesla remains very, very strong, very, very bullish. And the reason why we're talking about, him again, Musk and Trump is because you have to just think about it this way. Musk was involved in the call that was made with Zelensky and Trump together, which goes to show his influence and power over the different departments now in the US and the influence he has over the president, which is going to be forging policy. That's huge for Tesla. Investors are very excited about that. And especially because of what Musk has been saying, he's not stepping down from his positions in Tesla. Just want to clarify that he's not stepping down from SpaceX or anything like that. He's continuing to just be a part of all of this. So, if you like Trump or not, it's up to you. I always say this, guys. So you guys could have it at whatever opinions you want. I personally don't like to bring him up as much. I don't really want to talk about politics. I don't want to bring up Harris, Trump, Biden as much as on this channel because I try to stay away from politics. But because Elon Musk is so involved in this, that's the reason why I have to keep bringing him up. That's why I have to keep on talking about him because Musk is involved in a lot of the things that are going on in the Trump administration. That's why I'm kind of forced to continue to do that. So for those who are like asking, why do you keep bringing him up? That's the reason why. Anyways, it doesn't matter, guys. I'm just trying to be unbiased when I say that. So as far as Tesla goes, we're very bullish. We could rock it upon open, but make sure you watch these levels just to be safe. We've already gapped up like crazy. We're up 6.5%. I think when we open, what's going to likely happen is there might be a little liquidity grab right over here before it tries to continue to push. I think there's going to be some kind of attempt to push a little higher, and we'll have to see if the levels last or not because we're already up so much, and this resistance is kind of tough between 347.5 and 350. All right, so just want to clarify that. Today is Monday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day. Let me just say that there's not really any significant data coming out for today because of the holiday. The bonds market is closed, so just keep that in mind. Besides that, we had a couple of earnings. Everything was very minor. I'm not going to go into the full details. Monday.com is down in terms of its share price despite beating on EPS and revenue because their growth was not very strong. Guidance wasn't that strong either. Not going to go over all the specific details. Market is still gapping up right now, but just be careful as we try to continue to push. We're watching Bitcoin breaking 80,000 essentially, not to mention coin trying to push with it. And then Tesla surpassed the $1 trillion market cap. You guys can see Elon Musk is very excited about this as well. So once again, Tesla is worth over $1 trillion. It's continuing to push. So what's going to happen upon open? Look for a little bit of first. There's going to be a quick dip. Then we're going to try to rebound a little bit, but we'll see if we can break 347.5 or not. If we can't break past that, then there is a chance Tesla might dip a little bit to try to retest this previous support becoming our next. Our previous resistance becoming support down here. And we'll see if we get a bounce off that 338 to 340 area or not. So look for a pop and then drop back down, and watch to see if we get a bigger bounce off of that or not. So I'll be watching that very carefully. Otherwise, Tesla is kind of range bound at this pre-market session. That's mostly what Tesla's doing. I'm looking at other friends. We have Spy. Spy, it pumped very, very nicely, but now it's below 600 again. So can we hold above 600? When we open, look for a little bit of a push. We'll see if we hold above 600 or not. If we hold above it, we're looking for our next resistance near 601. So 600 to 601 is a tough resistance. We might shuffle like this for a bit, but as time goes on, if we end up losing 599, 599.5 specifically, if we start losing that, there is a gap to fill all the way down to about 598. So there might be a move to the downside coming. It is Veterans Day. There's going to be less volume coming in, most likely. So just be mindful of that. If the market does dip a bit, this might cause us to dip just a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Tesla will attempt to push, but if we can't break 347.5, there's a possibility we dip a little bit because of SPY. We'll see about that though. ES is on a bit of a downtrend here. It could try to push, but just know this: 6,000 is a very, very important psychological level. If we lose 6,040, we're looking for 6,036 as our next support. Very, very tight range. And if that fails us, we're going back down to 6,000 and the 6,020 area, I would say, be coming next, followed by 6,000 flat if that fails us. Our resistance is at 6,050, but it's very tough. We could attempt to push a bit, but I do think we might dip a little bit closer to where our 50 EMA happens to be. So just keep that in mind. Nvidia, it's pushing up very, very nicely. However, when you look at the bigger time frames, such as the 4 hour, this is exactly what we were predicting. We said that this might try to push a little higher during this pre-market session, but there's still that risk of it slowing down. So it might try to push a little bit higher, close to this imbalance towards 149 before it starts to turn a little bit lower as time goes on, back down to 146 as the most likely move. So watch your levels. Bitcoin is squeezing. We're above this resistance. I said yesterday, if we hold above 80,000, we're looking for 82,000 coming pretty quickly. That's what happened so far. If we lose 80,000, we're looking for 78,793. As long as we're above 80,000, we're looking for 82,000 resistance, potentially 84,000 next. Bitcoin's bullish, guys. It's very, very bullish after we got the new victory. Um, for NQ, we are pushing, but I did call out yesterday 21,300 is going to be a tough resistance. It is pretty tough. We'll have to see if we could crack past this or not. If not, this could turn. So we're going to be looking to see if we hold 21,250. We got to hold that support. If not, it's going to be dipping lower. So break 21,300 and hold above it for 4 hours for bullish. And if we lose 21,250, we will be dipping back down. Just keep that in mind, guys. Those are some very, very important levels to be like watching for. QQQ, we have 515 as our main area. 516 is our main resistance. If we start turning, we're looking for essentially 514 as our support, not to mention the 511 area. If we break 516, we're looking for a push for 518. We're kind of stuck in the middle, but this might be dipping closer to about the 514 area or below. So just keep that in mind with the QQQ. This is a tough resistance we're at. Apple is turning exactly as we predicted. I said that Apple is bullish, trying to get up to this 230 area. But before that happens, we might see a little bit of a dip forming a cup and handle. Might be dipping closer to the lower area right here. So 225 flat could be coming soon before it tries to bounce again. Excuse me. So watch for that. The IWM has gapped up. We actually went above expected. I was talking about 238. We went up to 240 instead. But just know that 240 is a big psychological level, and we do have a gap to fill down here around 238. So if we can't hold above 240, we're going easily down to 238, if not 235. If we break past 240, we're going to be pushing higher. We'll have to watch to see if it lasts. Don't forget there's going to be less volume today because of Veterans Day. Coin is up like crazy, another 14% because of Bitcoin pumping. I was talking about how this might be approaching 280 and eventually 300 could be coming. We're actually above that. So we'll see if we can get back above 320 or not. But nonetheless, we look bullish. If we end up losing 308, we're looking for 300. If that fails us, we turn back down to like the 280s. So we'll see. Amazon's kind of flat right now. I did try to gap up a bit, but it might dip a little bit lower back down to 208, if not 205, before it tries to bounce again. Meta might dip a little bit to about the 585 area before it tries to bounce. Microsoft I still think it might get closer to 420 before it tries to bounce. So give it a little bit more time to get there. And then Google is trying to push a bit, but just know this. We need to break past 183 to turn back to bullish. We could make a lower high and end up turning back down to 178. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that is it for my video. I thank you all so much for listening. Hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Just to clarify, guys, the market has pumped quite a bit, but we'll have to see what happens with this gap down below. And as far as Tesla goes, it's pushed very, very nicely, but just be careful at this resistance. because of the fact that the market could slow down and because of other factors. So if we do break 347.5, we're looking for the 350s coming next. If not, we're going to see a little bit of shuffling on Tesla, maybe a little bit of a dip. Why? Because of Veterans Day, less volume, and etc. It's also because Tesla's already up so much. So, anyways, see you guys in a couple of hours. Thank you for listening and peace out.